Here's what happened across the U.S. in the past hour, all in 60 seconds. A federal jury in Chicago found Juan Espinoza Martinez not guilty of a murder-for-hire charge tied to an alleged plot against Border Patrol official Greg Bovino. The case had drawn national attention amid immigration crackdowns. A federal magistrate judge in Minnesota refused to approve a criminal complaint against journalist Don Lemon tied to an anti-ICE protest inside a St. Paul church. Prosecutors could still pursue other charges or filings. Former special counsel Jack Smith testified publicly before the House Judiciary Committee about his Trump investigations. Smith defended his decisions as Republicans pressed him on charging choices and oversight of the probe. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced the U.S. has terminated its membership in the World Health Organization. The administration said it will pursue global health work through other channels. The House passed a major spending package that includes Homeland Security funding after a Democratic revolt over ICE. A handful of Democrats joined Republicans to advance the bill, and the Senate now takes it up. President Trump attacked California Governor Gavin Newsom at Davos after Newsom urged world leaders to push back on U.S. pressure. The exchange deepened a high-profile feud as both sides trade public criticism. Vice President J.D. Vance defended the federal immigration surge in Minneapolis and urged state and local leaders to cooperate with ICE. His remarks came as new arrests and protests spread to other states, including Maine. A federal judge signaled skepticism that the Trump administration can move ahead with a new White House ballroom funded by private donations. The court questioned whether the planned bypasses required congressional oversight. Here's what happened across the U.S. in the past hour, all in 60 seconds. CEOs from 5 major health insurers faced back-to-back House hearings on soaring premiums and coverage denials. Executives blamed higher hospital and drug costs, while lawmakers demanded clearer pricing and fewer surprises. Trump told CNBC that mineral access and defense cooperation could be part of a Greenland deal he's discussing with NATO leaders. He said a framework is in place, but key terms are still unresolved. ICE said it has arrested at least 100 people in Maine this week under Operation Catch of the Day. Local officials questioned the tactics, saying some detainees appear to have no criminal record. Senator Amy Klobuchar filed campaign paperwork to run for Minnesota governor, a first step toward entering the 2026 race. Her move follows Governor Tim Walz ending his re-election bid this month. New York City's nurses' strike entered its 11th day as talks resumed with Montefiore, Mount Sinai, and New York Presbyterian. Montefiore warned strikers could lose health benefits if the walkout continues. Former Des Moines Schools chief Ian Andre Roberts pleaded guilty to falsely claiming U.S. citizenship and possessing guns while in the country illegally. He could face prison time and deportation. Governor Gavin Newsom said in Davos, the White House blocked him from a global forum appearance, and he's living rent-free in Trump's head. The clash sharpened their feud over immigration and trade. The House Oversight Committee moved forward with contempt proceedings against Bill and Hillary Clinton in its Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Chairman James Comer rejected their request for an informal meeting and scheduled votes to advance. Here's what happened across the U.S. in the past hour, all in 60 seconds. Former Des Moines Schools chief Ian Andre Roberts pleaded guilty to falsely claiming U.S. citizenship and illegally possessing firearms. The case now moves to sentencing in federal court. A federal magistrate judge in Minnesota refused to approve a criminal complaint against journalist Don Lemon tied to a church protest in St. Paul. Prosecutors could still pursue other charges, officials said. DHS confirmed Operation Catch of the Day in Maine, aiming to arrest up to 1,400 people it says are in the U.S. illegally. Representative Chellie Pingree demanded arrest data and asked whether agents are using warrants. Montefiore warned striking New York City nurses they could lose health benefits on February if the walkout continues. The union resumed daily talks with 3 hospital systems as the strike entered its 11th day. President Trump said he and NATO have a framework for a future Greenland deal and dropped a tariff threat. He said talks with Secretary General Mark Rutte will continue, without detailing final terms. Federal agents expanded immigration sweeps in Minnesota and Maine as Vice President J.D. Vance visited Minneapolis and defended ICE tactics. Local officials demanded answers after reports that officers detained several children during arrests. The House approved a Homeland Security funding bill, 220-207, after Democrats warned it would fuel Trump's deportation push. A broader spending package then cleared 34188, moving Congress closer to full-year government funding. House Oversight Chair James Comer rejected Bill and Hillary Clinton's request for an informal interview in the Jeffrey Epstein probe. The committee is pressing ahead with contempt steps as it seeks formal testimony. The Kremlin said Russia will join the first trilateral peace talks with Ukraine and the U.S. in Abu Dhabi. The meeting follows Putin's talks with Trump envoy Steve Witkoff as fighting continues. A federal judge questioned the Trump administration's plan to fund a $400 million White House ballroom with private donations. He suggested it may require explicit approval from Congress as a preservation group sues to block